In 1986, I thought life was great. I was a competitive beach volleyball player, and then over the period of a week or two, my legs became numb, and then my arms became numb, and soon they were completely paralyzed. Imagine being 23 years old, lying in a hospital bed, unable to move your feet or feel your fingers. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. The next 10 years included MS attacks involving paralysis, numbness, excruciating pain, and near blindness. So you're probably thinking, so what's there to be grateful for? Well, I learned that there could be a silver lining in even the simplest of things. Like, for example, when my legs went numb, it was the perfect time to have them waxed. In addition to 10 years of MS attacks, I was also involved in 2 head-on collisions. And the best part of this story is that more than a decade after the diagnosis, it forced me to take a look at the medical approach that I was taking and to take a serious, long, hard look at nutritional medicine. Dr. Wentz, that's where you came in. After taking the nutritional supplements from Usana, I noticed that the side effects of some of the pharmaceuticals I was taking were reducing, and more importantly, the severity and frequency of the MS attacks were also reducing. So that was great, except there was still more to learn about living with this confusing disease. That's where Dr. Waitley came in. Because in the year 2000, Dr. Waitley took a few Usana distributors, and I saw a few of you today, took us on a tour of Sanoviv just weeks after it opened. How great was that? While we were touring Sanoviv, Dr. Waitley talked about the importance of setting goals. So I set my goal to earn enough money from my Usana business to return to Sanoviv for a 2-week medical program. And I'm so grateful that goal was achieved and re-achieved 7 times over. I love the fact that Sanoviv truly exemplifies the term holistic. That's a big word, holistic. And at Sanoviv, every day, the head of each department meets with the other department heads to look at all of the different individual cases. Each guest, they look at the diagnostics, the results from the previous day, and together they form a tailored approach, an integrated plan, where the left hand knows what the right hand is doing. Imagine if our healthcare system operated like that. So the first important finding that Sanoviv's team came up with for me was that they found that my body was poisoned with heavy metals. I always thought heavy metal was just really bad music. But I learned at Sanoviv that mercury and lead were 2 of the toxins that the cells in my central nervous system were doing battle with. It was Sanoviv's chelation, nutritional, and ozone therapies that have helped to greatly reduce the heavy metal toxic load that I've been dealing with. I also suffered from digestive and bowel disorders. Not very nice after dinner conversation, right? But one of the specialists that I went to in Canada told me to just accept the fact that this was all part of the MS disease process, and that surgery was probably the best approach to deal with it. I dreaded the thought of wearing a bag for the rest of my life, and so I decided to return to Sanoviv again for a second opinion on the matter. After detailed testing, the team at Sanoviv came up with identifying some food sensitivities, and then they eliminated those foods from my diet and resolved the problem. Imagine how thrilled I was to avoid a completely unnecessary surgery. I'm so grateful that Sanoviv investigates and identifies the cause before focusing in on just treating the symptoms. That's one of the things that's so incredible. Remember the 2 head-on collisions that I mentioned earlier? Well, during my 2007 trip to Sanoviv, I was treated in their energy medicine department with the electroacuoscope, big mouthful. This space-age technology was something that previously had only been used in the US by professional athletes and celebrities. And now the treatments that I was receiving at Sanoviv reduced and in some cases eliminated the chronic back and neck pain I'd been suffering with for years. My husband and I were so impressed with this technology that we actually purchased the equipment for our own personal use. And then we became certified as technicians and now sales reps. The Acuscope even helped me prepare for this speech tonight because last evening I was able to set it to a frequency that ensured a perfect night's sleep. And my husband, who's a professional golfer, uses the Acuscope to prepare for his tournaments. We're both so grateful that Sanoviv is on the forefront of these new technologies. But Sanoviv is more than just life-changing treatments, world-class diagnostics, and a 5-star spa. It's the heart-centered people that work at Sanoviv that make it so special. From the physicians that work there, to the people in the nurses' station, all the way through to the people in the kitchen. They really, really do have you know that they care. In June of this year, when I was at Sanoviv, I remember the chef, Frankie. Those of you who have been to Sanoviv know Frankie. And Frankie learned that a couple that were at Sanoviv had just learned that the wife's breast cancer had spread into her bone marrow. That weekend, on Frankie's day off, he brought in long stem flowers so that the husband could present them to his wife on their 45th wedding anniversary. And the administration team made up this huge banner for the dining room, and a Mexican mariachi band serenaded them that night. This is more like romantic fine dining than a hospital setting, and that's Sanoviv. Living with MS has taught me to focus on the abilities that I do have and never to take my health for granted. It's amazing how beautiful the sunset is at Sanoviv when you've lost your eyesight for a few days. Or how enjoyable a swim in their saltwater pools could be when you've been in a wheelchair for several months. It's with great gratitude to Dr. Wentz and the team at Sanoviv that I can say I've come a long way. From that hospital bed in Canada, where I feared I might never walk, see, or travel again. Life is great. I'll be happy to answer questions later tonight or through my website, janmills.net. But remember that choosing to go to Sanoviv could be the single most important decision you make for your health. I'm glad I did.